This year was so freaking hard, but so freaking good, wasn't it?
Yes.
What's up, girly pops? Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, The Girl with No Career. I'm your host, Kimberly. Thanks for being here today. I have my husband here so that we can talk about how crazy this year has been, but he currently has the flu, so you only get me. I've been reflecting a lot over the past year, and while there were really hard times, there were also really good times. And I think that there was so much growth this year. It was unbelievable. This year was so trying, and I'm just so glad that it's coming to an end. And I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings because I'm ready. In 2025, I learned so much about myself. I learned how to set boundaries. I learned that I still want so much more out of life. I learned that you can have it all and you can do it all, just not at the same time. I learned that I can do hard things. I relearned and am adamant that God can do anything and that he never leaves us. He only tests us. And in those moments, we just have to grow closer to him and we have to dig deep to find that faith, to find strength, to pull through, to get through anything that is thrown our way. This year, as you all know, I started this podcast and I also started a YouTube channel with my family. If you haven't seen those videos, go check them out. Our vlogs are some of my favorite, all of my favorite. It has been so fun to watch my family help me create these beautiful vlogs and to just like rewatch them and realize that they are actually like home videos. Watching my kids swim, watching my husband grill, watching us do things together has just been so exciting and fun. And I just love my family so much. I could stare at them all day. Watching these YouTube videos back is so fun. And I know that it's a lot. So I'm so grateful and thankful to them on the days that we have to record because they are so patient. And if you're a content creator or if you've ever tried to create a video in any kind of capacity, you know how hard it is to get it together by yourself, let alone like trying to wrangle your kids and your husband and the pets and everyone else into it. But it has been so much fun and I would not change anything. I cannot wait to see what our channel does in 26 because in 2025, so far 36 followers and I know, or subscribers, and I know that does not seem like a lot. You might be like, oh, you're not even at 40 yet. You're not even at 50 yet. You can't even go live. I didn't even think that we would have one subscriber. I did not even think that anyone would watch our videos. And one of our videos, like a month after we started, got 1,000 views, which is crazy for YouTube. Now, I know if you're looking, say, on Facebook or Instagram and you see like someone got 1,000 views, you're like, okay, that's not really that much. Like, try getting like 30,000, try getting 1,000,000. But on YouTube, 1,000 views? Like, are you kidding me? And just a month in. So while we haven't grown as fast as maybe I thought we would, I thought that I would edit a video, put it out there, and boom, we're going to be famous the next day. Not how it works at all. It takes a lot of work, which is why I think I never really started because I've kind of had this calling for a while. I have felt this pull on my heart, on my soul, to create content, and not just content like short form on Instagram and TikTok, not just that, but YouTube, because I'm a yapper and I need long form content. I need it because I'm a storyteller and I have to get my words in. So making a 20-30 minute video is far easier for me than making like shorts and reels and TikToks because I have so much to say. I just have so much to say. With that being said, I started a YouTube channel. I started a podcast, which is so crazy and has actually given me such a boost of confidence that I did not know that I needed. For the past, I guess, 11 years, well, for 10 years, I was a stay-at-home mom. And then this last year, I worked at a coffee shop, which was such a fun job. And I appreciate it so much more than the owner could ever know. She gave me an opportunity when no one else would even look at my application because I haven't worked since 2014. But one time I went in there just like a little day date to get some ice cream and coffee with my baby. She was probably then like 2. I remember her telling me like, "Hey, I'm the owner, da da da, like come in if you ever need a job." So I did just that, and she basically hired me on the spot. And so it was so fun, and I really needed that. I really needed to come out of my shell and remember that I'm not just a mom. I am also a person who has dreams, and being surrounded by a bunch of 20-year-olds who were chasing their dreams, who were going to college and who were doing things that I probably wanted to do at the age of 20, but I was busy being a mom and getting married and doing all the things, and that is okay. That's okay, because for a long time I thought that it wasn't okay, and I thought that maybe I did things backwards, but now I know that there's no specific timeline that you have to follow. And I don't know, I think I always told myself that, but I never truly believed it. And for some reason, something clicked in my head this year that was like, what do you not believe? What do you not like get? What do you not understand? You have like complete control over your situation, and you can do anything that you want to do. So being around these 20-year-olds, I was so inspired, and I was like, man, y'all make me want to go back to school, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going back to school. That is not for me. I don't even know what I would want to go back to school for. Like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is what brings me joy. I literally spend my days creating content while my kids are in school. I create content, I edit, I think of new content ideas, and I have notebooks full of things. And not just this year, but like so many years past. And I truly think that had I not quit my job, I maybe wouldn't have fully like deep dived into this as much as I did, because I did take the summer off, and that's when the bulk of our content creation was, because it was so easy for us to create vlogs because I was with the girls every single day, and we were doing fun things, going to the pool and going to hang out with friends and yada, doing all these things to create these like cool vlogs. But once they went back to school, it was like, ooh, okay, what now? So I did kind of take some time off because I was trying to figure out what am I going to do. And I was also trying to figure out, am I going to stay at this job? Well, when I finally decided that I wasn't going to stay at the job, I did quit. Mostly because I wasn't getting enough hours. I was getting like maybe 3 hours a day, twice a week. And so that just really wasn't working out. And I decided to quit my job. And I felt so much peace in my heart, even though we were struggling financially. And when I say we were struggling. And so it wasn't an ideal time to quit my job, but neither was staying there. It wasn't benefiting us in any kind of real way. So I quit my job. I felt so much peace in my heart. I did feel guilty a little bit because I was like, we are in such a bind. And I feel so guilty because I'm quitting my job for what? A dream that might happen, that may come true, that probably like no one else really believes in this. Everyone thinks I'm Delulu. And I think it was kind of then too that I decided, like, who cares what anyone thinks? And that's something that has always been told to me, like, stop caring what other people think. And I'm like, I don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people think. Sis, I really did care what other people think. I really did care about what other people thought. I was living off of other people's opinions. And it took someone saying that I had no career, that I had, to me, it was basically like, yeah, she's like a low life nobody who has nothing. She doesn't even have a career. I took that shit personal. I took it to the soul. My sister was like, girl, why'd you let it get to you? And I was like, because that's the thing. I have always operated off of people's opinions, and for the most part I feel like it's always been pretty good. I'm like, what can people say about me? And that comment hit me so hard because I was like, but you don't know how hard I work. You don't know how hard I worked to become the mom that I am. And when I thought about that, I thought about, wait, people don't know how hard I worked to become the mom that I am. And they also don't know how hard it was, how much I had to fight every single day, postpartum depression, having 2 under 2, having a 2-year-old toddler and a newborn baby, and just trying to get through while still trying to be a mom to a 7-year-old and a wife to my husband and cooking dinner and doing all of the things that just felt like, I don't know how I can do all this. And I went to sleep every night thinking, did I feed my kids, a nutritious enough meal today? Did I even feed them a vegetable today? Did I yell too much? Did I give my 7-year-old enough attention? Does she still know that I love her? I'm the worst mom ever. I don't know who or why they let me do this. I was so scared for so many years. And I look back and I'm like, I'm a freaking good mom. And I've always been a freaking good mom. And nobody can ever take that from me. And nobody can ever say anything about me being a mom. But sometimes I did think, I would go out and think, like, do people have any idea that I have no freaking idea what I'm doing? Or like, I don't know. But then I heard something. I heard someone say, what you think other people think of you is not actually what they think of you. They may not even be thinking anything of you. And I was like, why is that such common sense and something so simple? Yet I've never registered that. I've never registered in my mind that what I think other people are thinking about me is probably not even what they're thinking about me. And that's when I realized that I am just like, I'm done. I'm over people. I'm over caring about what people think about me. And it's time for me to like who I am for me. It's time for me to be the person that I want to be. So I started setting boundaries. I started leaning into the things that I want to do more. I started leaning in and creating the life that I wanted. And I did all of that while we were under such financial pressure. So this year, at the ripe age of 31, I finally started setting boundaries. Yeah. I no longer was answering my phone out of obligation. I no longer was showing up out of obligation or because I didn't want anyone to be offended. We have a daughter who just turned 15 this year, and I had never spent a Mother's Day by myself doing what I wanted to do. I had never spent a Mother's Day at home with my family. Okay, 2020, but that doesn't count. So I had never done that before. And this year I just looked my husband in the eye and I was like, I am staying home this Mother's Day. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. And so we usually always spend time with our families. Like we go with my mom and my grandma, or we go with his mom and his grandma, or we do both, which is great. I love celebrating with them. I love getting together. I love the delicious food that they make. And I love just like fellowshipping with family. But I knew that this is what I wanted, and I knew that it was what I needed. And I knew that for the next few years, our daughter is in her freshman year of high school. So we don't have much years with her like left here at home before she goes to college and stuff. So I was like, no, I'm setting the precedent now because it's been 15 years and I've never spent a Mother's Day at home doing what I want to do. So we ended up, I think we stayed home and my husband barbecued and we shared like a little 6-pack of whatever we ended up getting. And we went for a walk, like the whole family, and we just like enjoyed each other. And I just enjoyed being at home. We cleaned the house and it was just so nice to just spend that day at home with my family and not thinking about if anyone's feelings were hurt or if I had offended anyone or anything like that, but choosing me. It felt so good to finally choose me. And I thought, what else can I choose me in? What else have I not been choosing me in? So I feel like you probably need to ask yourself that too. What have you not been choosing you in? What has Kimberly not been choosing Kimberly in? What has Laura not been choosing Laura in? What has Sarah not been choosing Sarah in? Start choosing yourself. Because once I did that, I'm telling you, everything changed. I started seeing my purpose more clearly. And I don't know, it was like this like tunnel opened up between me and God, and I could start hearing his vision clearly. I could start visualizing this future that I wanted, this path that I wanted. And so I created a vision board. If you've never created a vision board before, I highly recommend it. It's so crazy. But when I think back on this year and I think back on that vision board, I didn't create our vision boards, or we didn't create our vision boards until I think it was like right before school. And that's when I was like, okay, well, we'll just like set intentions for y'all are starting a new school year. So we'll just like set the intentions for that. And I kind of fell off for a little bit, like in those months that we were busy. And I remember going back to it, I don't know, at the end of October, and just kind of reminding myself of what goals I had set for myself. And once I looked at that and I started locking in, and then started reminding myself to go and look at it every single day, because it's kind of on the side of my bed where it's hidden. So I don't actually see it. So make sure you put it somewhere that you're going to see it every day, like directly, and not where it's hidden. So I reminded myself, like every few days, go and look at that and like remind yourself. And there were some things that I was like, oh, I did put that there. And so even just simple things like start dressing how you want to dress, start wearing what you want to wear. I don't know why, but I think it's because I live in small town America. I've always felt like I need to dress to fit in and look normal and look like whatever high class society looks like in small town America, rather than wear the things that I want to wear and be the person that I want to be and say the things that I want to say and do the things that I want to do and all of those things. So I've always just had this big monkey on my back, which is like the opinion of others. And it's not even the opinion of others, it's what I think the opinion of others is. And so finally, when I finally let that go, I was able to start living my life. With all that being said, I don't know if that was my biggest takeaway of this year, but it certainly was my first takeaway of this year, that I am allowed to set boundaries. I'm allowed to make decisions based on what I want and what I like, and not always on the basis of what others think or how others may react to my choices. And so that was so freeing. It was so freeing, absolutely. And I think that is what really allowed me to step into calling, into creating a YouTube and now a podcast, and to get back into my socials like I had done before. I originally built my Instagram. I don't know if I said this before, but I built my Instagram to almost 9,000 followers. And when I quit, I slowly started losing them because they weren't fake followers. They were real followers. They were followers who wanted to see things from me and they weren't seeing things from me. So they started dropping off. And then after that, I went through and I just did an overhaul. And then, so anyways, that was really stuck in my mind, where I was like, if I could build my Instagram to, back then when I started, 10K was the goal, because at 10K, you were able to link things, like have a swipe up option on your Instagram stories, and people could just go straight to your like to know it and things like that. So that was the goal, and I was almost there. And then I quit, of course, like a lot of people did in 2020. And yeah, but I was like, if I could do that once, why not do it again? And why not on a bigger platform? Because YouTube is, I mean, I dare to say, one of the biggest platforms right now, one of the hottest platforms. And it steadily has been for, I don't know how many years now, but I know it's a lot. And so, yeah, letting go of other people's like expectations, or my fear of other people's expectations, was looking so back on 2025. I have 3 takeaways. That was the first one. The second one is that I can do hard things. And believe it or not, I came to this conclusion and I quit my job and I started doing Uber Eats. We did Uber Eats for 2 months and then we got fired. We're now rehired, but we don't want to go back to that life because I don't know. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. The money was good, but I hated it. And every time I was out there, I questioned why I was doing it. And I knew why I was doing it. We were in a rough spot financially, and it was a good way to make money each day. And so it really worked for us, and it helped us to stay out of the like holes that we were digging ourselves into. And it helped us to kind of like build back up to where we needed to be. So I quit my job. I was looking for something. I get an email that says Uber Eats has openings. And I had heard that it was really hard to get into Uber Eats. So I was like, okay, let me, sign up for that and see if I get it. And the next day I got it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go out. Like I put all my information in, created everything. And it was like, you're good to go. go ahead. So I started right away. And the first day, I think I delivered for 3 hours and I came home with like 40 or 50 bucks, something like that. Something like 40 to 60 bucks. And I was like, that's great. I will continue doing this. And so I was doing it every day. And then I kind of got the hang of like the days that weren't so good, the times that weren't that good, things like that. I built myself up to like gold star, diamond, whatever the like top one is. I built myself up to that. And then my husband started coming with me on the weekends because the weekends were crazy. And the best time to do it was probably like from 8 p.m. to like 2 a.m. And we would do it, but I couldn't be out there by myself because no. Do you know Lubbock? So he would come with me and he would help me out. And we would just be out there like freaking busting our asses. And I shout out to people who do it for a full-time living because there's definitely money to be made in it, but it is, gosh, it is terrible. It's awful. It's draining. It's so draining. Unlike anything else, you're by yourself in a car all day or however long you choose to be out there, and you have to deal with all these different restaurants, all these different systems, and then it's like some of the places you deliver are super sketchy. You don't know. You're like, why do you want me to hand it to you like face to face? I don't even want to be in this neighborhood. And so I really started just telling myself, like, this is not where I belong. This is not what like God has for me. Even though I knew that it was temporary and it was just like a means to an end, I still was like, this is not it. This is absolutely not it. So I dove back into creating content, and it had been at least 2 months since I had posted on YouTube when we got fired from Uber Eats. We laughed because we got fired and it said for low like satisfaction ratings, but all of our ratings were in the green and well above the minimum level. And so once they figured that out, they like hired us back, or they were like, hey, you're good to go. You're like good to start delivering again. We're like, ha ha ha. And absolutely not. So even though we haven't started making money in this creator space just yet, we have grown an audience, and that in itself is hard. And I mean, we're not where we wanted to be. I put on my vision board to be at 1K subscribers before the end of the year. And I mean, still have some time, but so far we have 38, I think. But a month ago, we had under 20s. When I tell you that things just sparked, when we got fired from Uber Eats, things just sparked. But while we were doing Uber Eats, every time we were out there, I would tell myself, you can do hard things. Like, you can freaking do hard things. And I think that really kicked in when our oldest daughter, she's kind of like sprung it on us that, well, not even sprung it on us. We had kind of known about it for a while, but we were struggling financially, so we were like not thinking about it. But she was going to get a Letterman jacket and she had got the papers for it, and then the day just snuck up on us. And the day that she was going to get fitted for it, or the day that she doesn't get fitted for it was, I think that weekend was the weekend or the day that we got fired from Uber Eats. But before that, like right before that, we knew that her jacket was going to be $175. Was it 175 or 195? It was 195. So it was $195, and we knew that we needed to have that, and we had nothing. And so we busted our asses all weekend, and it wasn't the best weekend. We had weekends, but we made what we needed to make. And not only that, we made enough to go ahead and get some groceries that we needed for that week as well. So when I tell you, I didn't want to fail her. I didn't want to fail her, and I didn't want to have to ask my mom to purchase this. My mom is such a big help. My mother-in-law is such a big help. I didn't want this to be another thing that they bought that we had to ask them to buy. I wanted to do this for her. I wanted to be able to say, we got it for her. Like, we did that. Because we, every early morning, every late night practice, everything. We see everything that she puts in. We see how tired she is. We see her when she walks in that door and she is drenched in sweat. And we see, the aftermath of when she loses a race or doesn't, something doesn't go her way. So I specifically wanted to be the one, and I know that my husband wanted to as well, but I was like, I, no matter what, am going to do Uber Eats day and night until I make it. And when we did, and when I could go online and make that payment, it was like, it was such a relief. And like, yes. And then after that, everything just kind of like started kicking off. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I can do hard things. I put out my first YouTube video with no prior knowledge of editing or anything like that, just from like small Instagram like videos like that. But I didn't have anything, I didn't know anything on a deeper level. And my sister has like kind of a background in editing style and stuff like that, but she didn't have any time to help me. So I was like, okay, well, I cannot afford to hire anyone or anything like that. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out. Downloaded an app, took all the videos on my phone, sent them to my husband's phone because his phone had more storage for the app, for the editing app, and I figured it out and I put it together, and it looks like someone's first time on YouTube, but I did it. And I was like, I can do hard things. The theme of this year is I can do hard things. It sucks that I'm even in the position to have to do hard things. It sucks when you have to do hard things, but I can do hard things. And I needed that. I needed to remind myself of that because I hadn't been feeling like I could really do anything. I think that I thought that I am just a mom and that I'm never gonna be anything above a mom and a like waitress slash barista. And I was looking down on myself really like, I don't want to go back to school, obviously, and because it's hard. And I was like, that's not my heart that I want to choose. And it's not my heart that I have any sort of motivation for. But I know, so I just thought, okay, well, you know, you're weak-minded. You can't do hard things. You don't want to go back to school because it's hard, so you can't do hard things. But every single thing that happened to us or to me or to our family or whatever this year, I, along with so much prayer and God's grace, overcame every single obstacle with, I feel like, dignity and like grace. And there were tough times. There were times where I was crying and just felt so absolutely worthless and felt like my kids deserved 1,000 times more. But it really just taught me how strong I am, and I can take on anything I set my mind to. That if I set my mind to it and I put in hard work, like I know that I can put in hard work, I can do anything. And I really absolutely needed that because I was just like talking down on myself and filling myself with all these negative thoughts that you can't do hard things. Like you're a barista and you even get that wrong. You mess up people's drinks. You forget what people ordered. You have to be reminded 20 times to, do something, or just on you're not the best mom, you're not the best wife, you're not the best cook, like just blah. And it's like, shut up. Like I finally had to just tell myself, shut up, girl, like shut up. And I was like, okay, I am being my biggest bully, and that's not good. Even if I think that I'm like reverse psychologying myself, I wasn't. And so I can do hard things. Yeah, they're going to be hard, but I can do that. My third takeaway from this year is to believe in yourself. That sounds so simple and so basic, like no duh, but I wasn't believing in myself. I wasn't believing that I could be a content creator. I was allowing what I thought others would think of me to hold me back. I was humbling myself to a fault. At first, it was kind of like, oh, no. Like, you try to be humble and you're like, no, yeah, it's just like a little Instagram thing. No, I just post my outfits, like stuff like that. And, you try to be like that, but then it starts becoming your inner thoughts as in, no, it's not, it's not anything like that. And so then you start internalizing that as I'm not some big creator, and like I won't ever be. This is just something kind of fun. This is just something that like everyone wants to do. I couldn't make it, that couldn't be me. How could that be my reality? And so I would feed myself those things, even though like I thought that I was my biggest supporter whole time. I'm my biggest hater. I'm my biggest op. And like, girl, just believe in yourself. And people would say this to me, and I would be like, I do believe in myself. What are you talking about? And like, me being that defensive should have been like, hello, red flag. But it wasn't for some reason. I was just, I literally was like being delusional. I don't know. I'm telling you, something clicked in me this year where it was like, all of a sudden I'm listening to like TED Talks, and I'm listening to self-help podcasts like Mel Robbins's. I'm things that before this year, I was like, why are y'all reading those books? Self-help books? Atomic Habits, like, okay. Like, yeah, let's do it because everyone else is doing it. And it was like, wait, was everyone else doing it? Or did I literally just see 2 people doing it? And then I thought everyone was doing it because I saw like 20 people online doing it out of who knows how many people in the world. Okay, 7 billion, but you know what I mean. So I would look at stuff like that, like, why do you even need that? Like, it's common sense. Come to find out, I don't know. I guess you just have to be in that mindset and you have to be open and willing to believe that good things can happen to you. And then you'll be open to, okay, well, how and what can I do to open those doors? How can I open this up inside of me to receive? And it's literally all you have to do is believe in yourself. You just have to tell yourself that you. So when I tell you that something inside of me shifted and I started believing in myself and I started telling myself, you can do this. You're gonna do this, without like actually doubting myself and just saying it just to say it. You know, when you start doing like positive affirmations and you're like, no, girl, like, yeah, you're beautiful. But inside you're like, no, I'm actually not. I hate myself. And like my body dysmorphia is out of control, but you're like trying to say these positive affirmations like you're smart, and you're like, no, you can't, you know, you're not, you can't even read. And like, so you're like self-doubting yourself and like bad mouthing yourself in your head while also looking in the mirror saying, you know, affirmations, because for some reason it's like uncomfortable and you don't think that those positive things could actually be about you. That's how I was living. That's how I was living. Why was I living in such a negative mindset and all the while thinking everyone else was negative? Hello, red flag, toxic person. But I don't know why I couldn't like look at myself and do that. You know how they say like hurt people hurt people? It's so true, because I was hurt. Even though I thought that I was healed, I was still carrying all this like whatever in my heart, you know, I guess like hatred and anger and just all these things. And when I tell you, it was just like a switch flip, and all of that was just boom, gone. Instantly, I was like, girl, you can do hard things. And I believed in myself, and I actually, you know, didn't care what anyone else thought. I started to see my views on Instagram grow dramatically. I went, this is so like, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like when you don't want to like say something, but it's like, no, girl, like you should be proud of that. So I went from getting maybe 1.2K views a month to, I remember last week I showed my husband and I was like, look how many views I've gotten. And it was like 12,000. And this morning I checked and it was literally 30,000 views like in the last 30 days. My views went up that much. And when I tell you the last 30 days is when I really started believing in myself and posting content that I actually care about and want to do, and just overall feeling myself. When they say that there is power in positive affirmations, when they say that there is power in believing yourself and in mindset, I don't know if you need to listen to them, but also you have to be in the right headspace. And so I don't know how to tell you to get there, but I do know that you have to let go of what you think others think about you. You have to believe that you can do hard things, and you have to believe that you are worthy of goodness. You are worthy of greatness. You are worthy of good things happening to you. You have to believe that, like in that order. And for some reason, 2025, that all fell out for me. Like, boom. And I can't even, like, that outweighed all of the bad. And also, like, let's not diminish the small accomplishments that we make. I set out this year. No, I didn't set out this year to lose weight, but somewhere around March, I decided that I needed to lose weight because I saw a picture of me from behind, and I was like, this was back when I was still talking bad to myself, and I was like, hello, wide load. And so yeah, I decided that I needed to start counting my calories and getting active and moving my body because I was a lump on a log. And I did that. And girl, I did that. I lost 20 pounds and I did kind of fall off in the summer. And I'm just now getting back on, but I'm getting back on and I didn't gain any of that weight back. And so I am so proud of that. I am so proud to be here on this podcast talking to you. I'm so proud that I put myself out there on TikTok where everyone who's anyone like from my town or from anywhere close to me can see all of my videos, and I'm just like the cringiest thing out there. I did that and I'm doing that, and every day I get up and I am a mom to 3 beautiful children who are healthy and thriving, and my husband still likes me. So it was a good year. All the good outweighed the bad. And if I were to look back and try to think of even those times where I was on the floor crying when I was texting my mom how worthless I felt, all of those moments seemed so big in those moments. And they were. And I was completely valid in my feelings and my crash outs. But when I look back on the year, all I can see is Kellen starting soccer, Carson going to state, Cameron just blossoming. Our girl doesn't like sports, but Cameron just blossoming, Cameron becoming this tiny version of an adult and just coming into herself like fully. She's at that age where her personality is like actually developing, and just seeing how we knew exactly who she would be when she was 2 years old is so cool. And just seeing all 3 of them like grow closer to God in their faith and like going to church every week and wanting to, and their hearts being open for that is such a blessing. So we are so blessed, and I hope that you look back on your year too and all of the good outweighs the bad. So with that being said, this is my last podcast of 2025. And I hope to see y'all in 2026, Lord willing. And thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all so much for making 2025 such a beautiful and blessed year to begin doing YouTube. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I pray that y'all have a blessed Christmas and New Year. And yeah, blessings.